Okay, welcome to the 10th Friday of the high school football season in the state of Maine. And not very many games because the numbers are dwindling, but we had 3 games tonight. And we covered 2 of those. Good news, bad news. Let's start with the good news, Adam. Levitt is just dominant this year. They beat Wells 41-0 in the season opener. Not the season opener, but Levitt's season opener in the third week of the season, 41-0. And then today they beat them in the Class C South semifinal, 46-12. How did it happen?
It was everybody. Everybody chimed in, and that's been Levitt's kind of MO this whole year. Just whoever is the hot hand, you just give it to them, or whoever's been playing well, you just get them involved in the offense. I mean, first play from scrimmage for Levitt was like a 62-yard run from Ben Soroy to set up a touchdown a couple plays later. They switch quarterbacks back and forth from Hunter Hayes to Noah Carpenter. It's just whoever. They have packages for both. It's whoever has the hot hand, but Mike Hathaway keeps saying he doesn't care who it is. So both of them made plays running and throwing. Dayton Calder had 2 touchdowns. One of them was a 66-yarder. Dayton told me he has a 7-year-old brother named Derek. So we'll see him in like 8 or 9 years.
Oh, so there's more callers on the way.
Yep.
Oh yeah, just jet sweep for generations.
Yeah, exactly. He said we'll hopefully see him in a few years. So, but yeah, it's just anybody, whoever they want to throw out there. And then their offensive line and defensive lines with Reeve Twitchell and Jack Bota, they're just unreal. It's hard to stop them. I mean, I think any team in the state would have trouble stopping both of those guys. So they come at you everywhere, and they're really talented. I mean, Wells is on a down year. They're starting 3 freshmen. I think they only have 3 seniors, Tim Roche said, the coach, but he was really excited about how the team in the second half bounced back. They scored a touchdown. They only gave up a touchdown in the second half. They created a couple turnovers. So he was excited about how they didn't quit, but Levitt's just a juggernaut, and they get Cape again next week, and that'll be really awesome to see because their first game was really fun.
Yeah, next Friday night, I'm guessing Libby Field. Ooh, it's gonna be a place.
Libby Field's gonna be rocking.
Yeah,
it is. It was rocking tonight. They showed out pretty good for the Wells game, which I mean I figured they would. They always do. So, but yeah, next week that's gonna be packed.
So so Levitt's offense, obviously they have like 11 different people that can play quarterback, but what about their defense? I mean, they held well. I mean, Wells is better than they were earlier in the season, and they held them to 12 points.
Yeah. I mean, a guy I didn't even mention, he had some runs, but on defense, Deegan Jordan, he's everywhere. He just goes wherever the ball is. He had a huge sack at the end of the game to kind of stop Wells on a longish drive. He just floats around and makes tackles. And then Bouton Twitchell seemed to be in the backfield every single play. And then Noah Carpenter and Hunter Hayes were just kind of roaming at safety, stopping big plays. So, I mean, Wells runs it a lot. So they were kind of playing up a lot, but they did try to chuck it down the field a couple times, and everyone was right there every single time. So their defense is phenomenal too. They make plays everywhere, but yeah, it's however you want to get tackled. If you want to go up the middle, they were trying to the coaches kept yelling at Bouton saying that they were running away from him, and I would too. He's
like literally,
yeah, and Deegan Jordan, I wouldn't want to get tackled by him too because he hits you at 1,000,000 miles an hour. So, yeah, they're fun to watch. They're really talented almost everywhere. So, it's I mean, like Tim Roche said, the Wells coach, it's a reason they're undefeated. So, they're a really talented team, and Cape took care of business today too. So, next week that'll be really, really awesome because I know that Cape wants another chance at that game, and it was closer than whatever I think it was like a 12-point win for Levitt the first time, but it was closer than that throughout the game. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see how that goes, but it's hard to stop all of Levitt's offensive weapons because they can go wherever they need, wherever the open player is, and they'll make a play. So it was a fun game to watch, and they're a fun team to see in person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
and
seems
Levy
like.
doesn't have
Go ahead.
Levy
Will.
doesn't have like a traditional running game, so it's not like you can just like stop that and feel like you're okay. You just gotta try to stop everything and hope that you get a turnover, and they don't turn the ball over much.
No, they don't. And they had an awesome 4th and 14 play where everyone was just like really still, and Noah Carpenter came from the receiver and just like jogged in front of Hunter Hayes and took the snap, and then just kind of kept jogging, and no one knew if like the play was happening or not. And then he just took off, but he got 13 yards instead of 14 yards. And Hathaway was just laughing to himself after the play. He thought it was going to work, and but it was a fun play. But yeah, it's a lot of jet sweeps. It's a lot of read option stuff, and then they'll go long to Sawyer Hathaway, and he'll catch a 40-yard touchdown. So they're dangerous everywhere.
Yeah, it seems like their offense is so diverse. They can do so many different things with so many different people that teams spend the entire week focusing on how they're going to stop Levitt's offense, and then they don't have time to figure out how they're going to score on their defense.
Yeah,
because their defense seems like it's just as good, if not better, than the offense.
Yep,
it's really come on. I know Coach Matt Hathaway told us a couple weeks ago that the defense is kind of the rusty part of the team after after having last year off from tackle football and then missing the first 2 weeks of this season. But I don't know, they've been pretty good from the start. And
yeah, they were a stone wall today, right? That was probably I only watched them against Cape, but they played a whole lot better, and they didn't give up any kind of real big plays. And so yeah, good luck against them. But Cape's got some running backs. They got a really good quarterback. So it'll be another fun one.
Take the over.
Yes, take the over. Yep.
Take the over. Yeah. I think Levitt or Cape's really the only team that scored a bunch on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess York put up 21, but and Cape Elizabeth scored 27. But York got eliminated last week by Wells, and Wells just got walloped by Levitt. So I don't know. I guess it's been Cape and Levitt all along.
Right. We're just kind of waiting for this rematch here.
Now they get to settle it. And it took Levitt like 3 quarters or into the third quarter before they pulled away from Cape. Is that right?
It was deep in the third.
Okay.
It was a real close back and forth game. They made a couple turnovers. I think they forced a couple turnovers on Cape and kind of started running away with it. But I think it'll be real close again, and you're right, Libby Field will be popping off.
Yeah, it looks like it looks like Levitt outscored them by 6 in the first half and 6 in the second half last week. Cape gave them a game more than anybody else has.
Mm-hmm.
And then so those two teams face off probably on Friday next week. But I don't know. A couple of years ago, they played the region final on Saturday at Levitt, and so I don't know. But I don't know if since the 8-man state championship games are next Saturday, maybe they won't want to play. Maybe they won't want to have too many other teams playing on that day. I don't know.
Well, and usually they'll play each regional final, like North and South, at the same time. Like they won't let one team play on a Friday night and the other team play on a Saturday. They'll be like, you all gotta play at the same time.
Okay.
Oh, also Levitt shouted out their field hockey team that's playing in the Class B state championship tomorrow.
Yeah, how about that?
Old Town. So shout out. We had Wanda and some of the players on the podcast this week, and they were awesome. So
Yeah, Kara Marston, Paige Damasio, and Megan Mason.
Yeah.
And the Winthrop field hockey team is also playing in the state championship, the Class C state championship tomorrow. And we had Tony Belazzi and Nathan Fournier both wrote stories about those two teams. Both teams have a freshman that's really good on their team, and we have those stories up on sunjournal.com, or check your newsstand tomorrow. Or
Yeah, definitely pick up tomorrow's. Definitely pick up Sundays.
Yeah, I would say that.
Think of it every day.
Yeah, except so Class C kind of went how we went. We thought it would go.
Yeah.
Then we also had the 8-man small school South regional final, and that didn't really go the way I thought. I didn't think it'd be a blowout, and I really didn't think Maranicook would be the one that blew them out if there was a blowout. But they just completely blew out Deergo today.
Yeah. And Deergo coach Craig Collins also didn't think his team was going to get blown out. But just, from the first couple plays, Maranicook was just kind of flexed their muscles, and that was it. 3 plays and a touchdown, and then Deergo went 3-and-out. They went 3-and-out on their first 5 drives, I think. Just couldn't get anything going. They tried a traditional running game. They tried just spreading it out and having Charlie Houghton try to do stuff, and just he didn't have a lot of time. Just nothing was clicking in that first half for them. While on the other side, Maranicook was kind of doing everything. Their offensive line was just super dominant, and Owen Dunn, their sophomore running back, knew where to go with it. And then they'd mix in some Chris Reed, passes to their different receivers, some bigger guys, and 30-0 after 1 quarter. Deergo had 12 fumbles, if you count bad snaps and all, bad handoffs and kind of that stuff. That just didn't help. They were in long situations a lot. And the 1 touchdown they did score was like a simple out route from Trenton Hutchinson, tiptoed on the sideline, and the Maranicook guys thought he was out, and Hutchinson kept going and ran for a touchdown. I mean, I was right there, and I think he was still in. So despite what the Maranicook players thought, that was their touchdown. But after that, just they tried getting the passing game going a little bit in the second half, and it worked a little bit, but not for whole drives for touchdowns. But Maranicook was just dominant. Craig Collins, the Deergo coach, said as much, that just they had no answers, that Maranicook was a better team, that they're the best team in 8-man small school South right now. They proved it. Just his blowout.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising that Maranicook lost any games, even though they were missing those players. Like, if they're this dominant, then geez.
Well, in 8-man though, you lose a couple of players, and it really, especially when you're senior quarterback, and I don't know if they're missing any linemen.
Yeah, but when you're that dominant, geez, they dominated Telstar and Deergo on both sides of the ball 2 weeks in a row. And
yeah, the yardage tonight was 481 to 102.
Yeah, and Deergo's been moving the ball all over the place on everybody.
Yeah, been their whole.
Well, what didn't help was that they got down by a lot so quick, so they couldn't really try the running game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like Houghton had some decent looking throws, and just the connection just wasn't quite there. And then there'd be another bad snap. So like they never really, like most drives, they didn't even have 3 good plays. They'd have like a first down play and then a bad snap. So then you're at like 3rd and 20. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Right. Well, there's not much you can do in that situation.
But
yeah, I think
props to Deergo's, the Harlow Park had a lot of people there tonight, and they stayed for like most of the game, which is really cool to see.
That's good. That's really good. Yeah, it was a good season by them. They won 7 games in a row. They really adjusted pretty well.
Yeah, and talking to Craig after the game, he's like, we have basically one senior, and we're, you have more seniors next year. And what the offense kind of showed this year was just the tip of the iceberg. It'll be really fun to watch Charlie Houghton and the rest of those guys next year when they're all a little bit bigger, a little bit more experienced in this, 8-man game.
Yeah. And so Miranda Cook will play either Stearns Skank. Is that how you say it? Or Shank?
Yes.
Skank.
Skank. Yeah.
Or Dexter. Those two is Stearns, Skank, and Dexter play tomorrow at noon. So whoever they play will probably get beat by a lot next week because Miranda Cook is unstoppable. I mean, Miranda Cook was one of the best large school teams 2 years ago. And it appears that they should probably be in the large school region and not.
But they defined a line to, cut it off at some point. Miranda Cook's just the biggest of the small schools.
Yeah.
They're a Class C school in other sports anyway.
Yeah.
They're just always the biggest Class C school because they used to be a Class C school.
And I think when you have a school that small, you don't know when, it can be pretty quickly the year of the team getting beat by a lot, just from year to year.
Yep.
You lose a couple of key players and it changes everything.
I think Chris Reed does a lot for that team. Him coming back just because he can run it, he can throw pretty well. And he just kind of opens up things from his just watching him in the first Telstar game, and he was only there for 2 days before the game, and then the second Telstar game, it was a pretty big difference in the whole Telstar offense. So
and
quite a bit.
Miranda coach Jordan DeMillo said that he's also big on defense. He'll match up with the other team's best player on the outside, and try to neutralize it.
Yep. Yeah, and he wasn't even a defensive player at the start of the year, but he's been good.
Yep.
So Diergo is out, and the Sun Journal is officially out of the 8-man football game in 2021.
We had a good run.
We had a good
run. With 5 teams.
Fun year. Everybody did well, but every team tried hard. Looks like just for the record, large school, both teams play their regional finals tomorrow. Morris faces Waterville, and Mount Ararat faces Cheverus. Why is Morris in the north, but Spruce is in the south? I don't know. I get that some
Spruce is because Spruce is so far west.
Oh, okay. So it might be
might actually to those other teams.
Okay. Anyway,
I guess.
Yeah, and I always get mixed up what is actually north, and so don't listen to me at all.
Okay.
So that's what's going on there. And then the other game we had today was Poland lost to Freeport 27-7, and we don't know a whole lot about that game. Kind of what's expected, but I think it wasn't a blowout like the other games we talked about today. Poland just kind of, they don't really get beat by too many points really, except for I think Winthrop beat them, but Jordan Knighton ran for a couple touchdowns for Freeport, and Nick White and Tony Casale also had touchdown runs. So that's the end of Poland's interesting season, which, like Levitt, they started their first game was in the third week of the season, and they beat Belfast pretty good, and then that gave them a ton of heel points, and then they just kind of stuck around with a lot of other teams in Class D.
They really had to switch around a lot, with their losing their starting quarterback in the first game, and kind of have to change who they were.
Yeah, but then they also kind of turned into a passing team in spite of that, because they needed to, and it seems like they didn't really get drilled too much this year.
No, you're right.
Some things to build off of.
A lot of
Yeah.
teams. Yeah. It looked like Freeport's Twitter account said that they recovered their third fumble at the start of the second half. Poland had fumbled 3 times, and then they scored and got to 27. So, that's part of Poland's year this year. But yeah, you're right. They have stayed with some teams, and that Belfast win, you're right, did help them quite a bit in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, there was a while they were like just the heel points off of that were keeping them up like in the top 4 of Class B, even if like they would lose to a team and then still be ahead of them in the heel points. But it was pretty good. They lost to Winthrop 40-6, but then their other losses were Oak Hill by 15. Oh, Foxcroft 41-6. But then they played Lisbon close, and not bad. I mean, close, like relatively close. It wasn't a blowout, but it wasn't really a lot of those losses weren't terribly close. So we run out of teams now. So now the teams we have left are Oxford Hills, which had a bye this week, and they will play Bonnie Eagle because Bonnie Eagle beat Sanford, right? I mean, they were beating them. I didn't see the final score.
Yeah, they beat them 42-14.
Okay. And then in the other Class A game today, Scarborough beats Bangor pretty well. So Scarborough will face Thornton Academy next week, and Bonnie Eagle will travel to Paris to play Oxford Hills. And then, so we have Oxford Hills left. We have Levitt still playing. And then
we got a couple teams playing tomorrow.
Then the 2 teams that play tomorrow, Class D, in the Class D quarterfinals, we have Winthrop plays Bucksport, Winthrop Monmouth Halldale, and Lisbon travels to Wales to play Oak Hill. So those are the teams we have remaining. What do you think? Which game are you most interested in? It's got to be Lisbon at Oak Hill, right?
Yeah. For me, it's Lisbon at Oak Hill, just because Lisbon's won 3 in a row. Oak Hill's been playing really good football. These 2 teams, they always seem to play each other in the playoffs. So I'm very excited. It's going to be really good weather. The fans should be showing out at Stacey Doucette Field, and I'm pretty amped for this game because Winthrop Monmouth Halldale, they hosted Bucksport I think at the beginning of the season and kind of
week 1.
I was at that game. They handled their business pretty good, so I think they will again. So the Lisbon Oak Hill game, I think, is anybody's game, and I don't know that I would have said that like a month ago. So I'm excited.
Be honest, Adam. It's the chicken tenders.
Yeah, and the chicken tenders too, man. You're so lucky.
Oh, shout out Levitt. I had chicken tenders and mozzarella sticks today. So they were rocking. Yeah.
And?
Yeah, really good. They're not Oak Hill chicken tenders, but they were good. They got the job done.
That sounds delicious.
Yep.
Were you like double like fisting, like having a mozzarella stick than having a chicken tender?
Yeah, just because like it was right before the game, so I had to
put them in your pockets again. Didn't you do that last time?
Yeah, I did it. I put the whole thing of mozzarella sticks in my sweatshirt pocket. The first Levitt game I covered.
You gotta get you one of the sweatshirts that has the top pocket.
Yeah.
The Napoleon dynamited it.
Yeah, sort of tot.
It kills me whenever I think about that.
Walking down the Levitt sidelines, watching them play Cape Elizabeth, and I'm just taking mozzarella sticks out.
Did you have like some dip in your other pocket too? And you like?
I wish. That would have been too risky.
Some marinara. That'll be a good game. I think that's I'm
excited.
Levitt always seems to figure it out, or Lisbon always seems to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
How to?
You were saying that
because it's not how you start; it's how you finish.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like it's not the size of the dog in the fight; it's the size of the fight in the dog. You know?
The Greyhound.
Yeah, no fear. Um, yeah, so that should be a good one, I think, and that would be, and then Winthrop or Bucksport at Winthrop just seems like, well, yeah, Bucksport they've had to travel a lot, and they probably will every season, as long as Class D is only 8 or 9 teams. But they've come to the Sun Journal area 3 times, and they've lost all 3. They lost to Winthrop, they lost to Oak Hill, and they lost to Lisbon. And now they're coming back for a number 4.
And they're all done talking to Adam. They're just done.
Yeah, so they got to talk to
Yeah,
somebody
They,
else.
they might have a chance tomorrow because I'm not going to be at the game.
That's right. You are
They
the
can blame
angel.
blame it on Blasey.
Buck Sports Angel
I
of
wouldn't
Death,
blame anything on
Adam
Blasey.
Robinson. Yeah. So but it's Winthrop is coming off its first loss of the season 2 weeks ago to Foxcroft, and so they have to rebound from that, and get set for whatever they face next week if they win. I mean, it seems like they will win tomorrow. They should.
They should. Foxcroft showed some weaknesses though in that defense. You can move the ball if you've got a couple playmakers, and Bucksport does, but I think Winthrop all around just has better players in different positions. So
Bucksport has that quarterback receiver combo whose names escape me right now, but they can throw the ball. So that
quarterback, and then they do have a good receiver that I can't remember right now.
Yeah, but I think maybe Winthrop kind of learned from it and will be stronger next time. And they also were coming off COVID week too, right? They didn't have a lot of practices, just kind of like Oak Hill did when they played Freeport a couple weeks ago.
Right.
But it looks like the winner of Lisbon's and Oak Hill will play Freeport or Foxcroft next week, and the winner of Winthrop and Bucksport will play Freeport next week. So that should be pretty exciting. Pretty fun games. I think Oak Hill would probably like another shot at Foxcroft because they played them all right.
Yep, they did. They played them really, really well for the first half, and then Tiger Hopkins, who was moving the ball really, really well for Oak Hill, got hurt and was out for the second half, and Foxcroft kind of pulled away. So, I was surprised at how well Oak Hill played them, and that kind of started their good run of games for Oak Hill that game. So, I'm sure they would like a chance, and Lisbon has won 3 in a row, and they think they can keep it going. So I'm intrigued by tomorrow's game, and I'll be there, and I'll have coverage and all that jazz.
Eating some chicken tenders.
Yep.
All about
some chicken tenders
on the socials.
So what else we got? Anything else you want to say? Freeport or the field hockey state championships tomorrow. Levitt plays Old Town in Class B, and Winthrop plays MCI in Class C. Seems like MCI and Winthrop have been on a collision course all season long.
Yeah, seems like they always play. When I first got to the Sun Journal, it seemed like they played every year in the playoffs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Back when Winthrop was in the north.
Yeah. Although one year I think they played against each other.
Yeah, in the north, right?
No, I mean like in the state final.
Oh, did they?
I think so. I could look back if I.
Is that who? Because Winthrop lost to St. Dom's in 2017 in the championship game, and they lost to Dexter, I think, in 2019. So maybe they beat MCI in 2018. I just know when they won the state championship, I only remember that they won. I don't remember who they played, but they might have. So that should be good. But also Levitt and Old Town. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, 2 teams that are green and black.
Are they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Levitt is black.
Well, green with a little bit of black
Green,
usually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Old Town and Levitt. Yeah, Levitt. There's those two teams are so far away that Levitt doesn't really know about that much about them, and Old Town probably doesn't know that much about Levitt.
Yeah, they're not going and doing any scouting on each other.
Yeah. But that Levitt team, they're a focused group, and yeah, it'll be interesting.
Focus, quick to the ball. They've got a real good defense. They've got a couple freshmen that are playing well for them. So it seems like they really handled Cape Elizabeth real well and stayed with them in the first half, and then scored 2 in the second half to win. And then the York game, they kind of looked at themselves midway through and said, wow, we can hang with them, and they beat them too. So Cinderella season, they're playing really, really good field hockey right now.
Yeah, but it seems like once they got past York, I think that most people were kind of expecting them to beat Cape. And so that York win was pretty big, and then they shut out Cape 2-1, 2-0, because that's a shutout does not have 2-1 score. But so that's it. I mean, that's the day. These shows are getting shorter and shorter, and nobody writes anything in the chat. I guess all the chatters are associated with teams that are no longer playing.
And Justin must be busy.
Probably. So that's great. Well, I hope you guys sleep tight. Don't live that fight.
The big day tomorrow. Big day in Sun Journal Sports.
Big day.
Big day.
Report like a champion tomorrow.
Yep.